Today I'll show you how to play the Blue Bossa guitar chords and the rhythm comping in a beginner-friendly way. Hi my dear jazz guitar and Bossa Nova aficionados around the world, Sandra Sherman here. Greetings from Austria. You'll learn an authentic Brazilian rhythm pattern and how to add that famous alternating bass. I'll show you each of the Blue Bossa chords, slow and easy note for note, and there's also a slow tempo playthrough of the entire song towards the end of this lesson. I've made tabs and backing tracks. The backing tracks include the melody, but for copyright reasons I cannot include the melody in this YouTube tutorial. You can download all this fun from one of the links down below in the description box. Please read the short download instructions right next to these links. Alright, now let's get Blue Bossa guitar chords under your fingers. We are in the key of C minor and we have a single section that is 16 bars long. Plain and simple, here we go. So here are the first 4 bars. This is phrase number 1. We start with the C minor 7 chord down here. I have the C on the 3rd fret of the A string, then the 5, the 3 by barring, and the 4. We just play the inner 4 strings when we comp. Comping is the jazz term for accompanying a melody player or a singer. Here is a samba pattern. This song is usually played a little faster, so I picked a samba pattern, 1 bar pattern. Okay? Alright, I start with the upper 3 strings, the D, G, and B strings on beat 4 and. I come to that later. We always start on 4 and on beat 1 I have the bass now, the A string. And 1, on count 2 I have the upper strings again. And then we have the bass again and the upper strings again, and this time they are 8 notes. So they are quicker. And that's it actually. Alright, you gotta memorize this because we have it run through the entire song. 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4 is a rest, and then we start all over again. Always with the high strings. We always start on 4 and with the high strings. So our pattern goes from count 4 and to 3 and. And 1, 2, 3, and 4. And 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, we want to have an alternating bass, and that's why I picked this chord down here and not the C minor 7 up here. Because if I start from the A string, I can now add the 5th below the root, that's the 5th, the tone G on the 3rd of the E string, and that's called the alternating bass. So the 5th of the chord is the alternating bass. Alright? And I do that on beat 3, on count 3. So beat 1 has the bass, the root bass, and beat 3 has the alternating bass, the 5th in the bass. And 1, 2, 3, and 4. And 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now make sure that you don't put your finger all over. I know a lot of you guys just had your finger barred over everything now, didn't you? Caught you. Because what that does is the root and the 5th ring together, and in that low register it sounds actually not really nice. Hear that? It sounds like heavy metal. Right? So what you want to do instead is you kind of have an angle here to have a better pressure, and then you kind of move upwards, and you don't, so the A string stops ringing. All right, that's very important. Now everything's clean. Now for the second, we do that 2 bars twice. Now the F minor 7 is up here on the 8th fret. And again, I start on 4 and. I never start on 1 if I have an 8th note before that. We always start on 4 and. That's how the rhythm goes. And that's how Latin works. Usually starts on 4 and. So everything's moved up to the 8th fret now. 8, 10, 8, 9 in a 4 strings. Same pattern 2 times. And that's it. Now here's the entire phrase number 1, those 4 bars at slow tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4. And here are the second 4 bars. This is phrase number 2. We now go to a 2-5-1 in C minor. That's a cadence. A 2-5-1. Okay, here's the D half diminished chords, the 2 chord of the minor cadence. Here's the D on the 5th of the A string. Here's the flat 5, that's the 6th of the D, 5 of G, and 6 of B. Okay, in a 4 strings. Don't bar this. If you do the finger thing, you could bar this, but usually we don't, because if you just want to strum maybe once for more dynamics, what you get, if you press this one, you get the regular 5th, the perfect 5th, but we have a flat 5. D half diminished chord, also called D minor 7 flat 5. Okay, so we don't want a perfect 5th in there, so make sure to do it like that. Also, we can now change better over to the flat 5 in the alternating bass. I get to that in a second. We do that rhythm again, 1 bar only. We start with the upper 3 strings, D, G, and B. All right, but that second bass is now 5th in bass. The 5th is not a perfect 5th because the chord has a flat 5. So now the flat 5 is not here below the root, but 1 to the left. That's the flat 5, okay? 5, flat 5. And so what we do is we change over on count 3. And 1, 2, 3 and, right? Now we go to the G altered chord, G7 sharp 5 to be correct. And that's the G in bass. Then the F on the 3rd fret, B on the 4th fret, and the E flat or D sharp on the 4th fret of the B string. We start with the highest strings again, 1 bar. And now that's the first chord from the E string we have. We do never play alternating 5ths when we have a chord from the E string. First of all, we don't do it. I'll tell you in a second why. And secondly, the sharp 5 is would be actually over here, so that we wouldn't be able to fret that. But the thing is, authentic Brazilian Bossa Nova or Samba does not play the 5th on the A string. Never ever. That it's just as simple as that. You can do it, but you will always sound pseudo Brazilian, European or American, whatever. It's not Brazilian style, okay? We go from D half diminished to G altered to C minor 7, 2 bars, the 1 chord. We had this before, 3, 5, 3, 4 in a 4 strings. All right, here's the entire phrase at slow tempo, 3, 4. And here is the last phrase already. All right, we start by moving the C minor 7 chord that we just had 3 frets up, and we get an E flat minor 7. C minor 7, C sharp, D, D sharp or E flat, because we're in the key of C minor, we rather say E flat. All right, E flat minor 7, 6, 8, 6, 7, and 1 bar. Regular rhythm, and now we change to its 5 chord because that's a 2-5-1 chord progression in the key of D flat major now, and the 5 chord is A flat 13. A flat on the 4th fret. We don't play the A string, then the 4th fret of the D, 5th fret of the G, and the 6th fret of the B string, and the rhythm 1 bar. And now we the pinky remains for the D flat major 7 chord. 4, 6, 5, 6 in a 4 strings, D flat major 7. Alternating bass, and 1 more bar. All right? We have our alternating bass here again. And now we have the C minor cadence again, starting with D half diminished. All we have to do, that's really cool, just move your index into the one to the right, and you get a D half diminished chord. 5, 6, 5, 6 in a 4 strings. 1 bar, alternating bass, G altered, slide over or glide over to that G7 sharp 5 chord, 3, 3, 4, 4 that we had already. Now 1 bar of C minor 7, 3, 5, 3, 4. Stop, and the last bar is a G7 sharp 5 sharp 9 chord. We don't have the root. Imagine the root here. This is our what I call virtual root. You always need to memorize that with a chord that does not have a root, otherwise you couldn't move it. Let's say you want to have an A altered chord. You need to know that here is the A and here is the rest of the chord, okay? So G, we start on the F, 3rd fret of the D, then we bar with the middle finger, 4, 4 on the G and B strings, 4th fret, and the 6th of the E string. Might be a little hard for some of you, but those are chords that we use a lot, not in comping usually, but for chord fills or chord melody style chord solos as well. And I play once, and then I release the pressure immediately, and then I press again and let it ring a bit longer. That's that famous bossa ending like in Girl from Ipanema as well. All right, and here are the entire 8 bars, the phrase number 3 at slow tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, before I play through the entire tune at slow tempo, let me recommend some tutorials of mine for you. Check out, first of all, the basic 7th chords in order to be able to comp yourself and not need help anymore from me. Basic 7th chords, tension chords video. Check out the other chords I have on comping, like Fly Me to the Moon, Autumn Leaves, great songs. And then check out the Bossa Nova rhythm pattern comping lesson I have up here on YouTube. All right, and now I play through that whole thing at slow tempo. Please help boost this video up so other people get to see it too by giving it a fat thumbs up. I hope you liked it. Share the love and the knowledge. Subscribe my channel. I see you next week. Servus. Baba.